up, Woodward? We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Goodness gracious, what a victory that was for the Detroit Pistons. So we got to get more appropriate here and get those victory shades on. It's Wake Up Woodward and Chat family. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off today with the WUW Crew. You know what? Let's run those lights up, man. Let's kick off this day right. Those Detroit Pistons, they bludgeoned the Boston Celtics. They held them under 100 freaking points. 117-97 victory. This game has so much that we can break down, so much we're going to talk about today, man. Woo! I'm fired up. I'm fired up. That's another one. 8-game winning streak. It is their longest since January and February of 2008.
I don't even know what to say. It's funny because usually after these games, I have a bit of a roadmap in my head of like how I want to dissect everything. But today, I might be all over the place. I might be talking about defense 1 second, Cade Cunningham mid-sentence, JB Bickerstaff, Ron Holland, Asar. It doesn't matter. The Celtics and their failings last night, it might all come up in one 10-word sentence. We shall see. But this is everybody's day. This is our day here. This is your day in the chat. And I understand that people are going to maybe accuse us of acting like the Pistons won the championship. But you know what? We were 14 wins last year. Beat the champs by 20.
And they was talking greasy in the offseason. Jalen Brown, I had that one ready. I knew Travis was, you know what? He finally got a little bit of a rest for a night. Shout out to Travis, one of our social
shout out
here. Justin held it down, but I had that one ready to go. And Jalen Brown was like, just in October of 2024. People say, how long ago was this clip? Y'all digging this up? I was like, no, this was at media day of this season when he said, no disrespect to the Detroit Pistons, but, when we play a team like that, that's when we let guys like Peyton Pritchard go for 30.
Yeah.
Haha, yes.
Disrespectful.
About that, bro.
Yeah, about that. And more on that in a second. I see a lot of MSU fans, including I have a personal vendetta with this guy, so let me just call this guy out real quick. Especially that bitch Dabber. Detroit Dabber 313 JFC. Michigan fans are embarrassing. It was a crazy end of the game. Just give MSU props and move on.
Hold on, whoa. I got you.
Okay.
Number one on the show sheet, Michigan State.
Wow! You couldn't wait just 2 seconds.
We're just teeing up.
My goodness, bro.
The one thing I know Flannel, KG, Kavasi, everybody was saying, especially when JB had to run out to the car real quick, was, we got to let JB Smooth talk his stuff.
Yes.
And we have to be a better haven.
Yeah.
And a place for Michigan State Spartans. I don't even want to say that, but I know that it's important. I promise y'all we got you guys.
And do you know what's crazy?
Fans.
I would bet that this show has given more shine to MSU than even any other shows on this network. Because trust me, I'm pretty tapped in. And even shows with like Spenny, like the heavyweights and Big D Energy, sometimes MSU gets lost in the shuffle. Usually Spenny gets to get his shit off, but we always give the shine to MSU when it's needed. We've given as much shine to MSU basketball as Michigan basketball because MSU, like Michigan for the most part, continues to earn it. And MSU got themselves a great win last night, a road win over Maryland with Trey Holloman hitting a buzzer beater half-court shot. Are you kidding me? Unfortunately, I didn't see it because I was watching the Pistons, but I would have fell to my knees.
I was going to say, bro, it got JB Smooth over there in the TD booth chuckling and stuff, man. Look, it's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, Red Wings correspondent, man, holding it down with Woodward Wings. And we're going to get the rest of the cast and crew introduced here, too. And then JB Smooth, you got to talk to us about these Spartans. We got Kavasi Chase in the building. What up, though, brother?
Hey, sorry. What up? Good morning, guys. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, bro. Doing good.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. Just here on a Thursday.
Let's watch.
So
going down on the Thursday. Nah. Hey, KG in the sound booth. What up, though?
Hey, Sam brought up Cade. Who is Cade? I only know him as Mellow Yellow.
Oh my God.
Shout out to my dog Mellow Yellow, man. He went out there and did the damn thing. But no, you just so proud of this Pistons team, man. And we gonna get into it, but we gotta let JV get his little shit off about
To
that.
the MVP. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD. I guess for you, it's a double victory. You got two of them things
Two
today.
breasts.
So it's
Two
the
of
Titty
them.
booth today. What up, though, JB Smooth?
2 of them. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, my Spartan chat family out there? Man, last night's game was really good. I wasn't too much tapped into it just because I was kind of focused on the Pistons, but I kind of knew that, like, you know what? I'm not going to stress about the MSU game. They got it on lock. I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, a little bit down the stretch, Maryland was trying to mount that comeback as well as they did. The Crab Five, as they call themselves out in there in Maryland. But Trey Holloman, my God, Trey Holloman. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, it was an amazing shooting night for both teams. They shot below 35%, but still, Trey Holloman at the end with that three, that half-court three, man, just to send it over. Like, I got texts all from Spinny and the group chat, another group that I'm in as well, too. They're just blowing up like, wow, MSU, Spartans. This is a key moment right here for Tom Izzo, just once again, just having this guy in his back pocket that he can do this. Like, this is just basically me last night just dreaming about this. Like, oh, yes.
That's crazy.
Oh, over and over again.
Were those the noises you were making?
It just plays rent-free.
Doing at LCA.
It just plays rent-free in my mind. And, yes, those were the noises I was making, just replaying this over and over again. This is another key moment for Tom Izzo in this Big Ten title run that we've got right now. Like, just everything seems to be falling in place, and dude, the sky's the limit for this team right now. I just can't believe, like, I'm living in this moment that I can see the Spartans do this well once again.
Gotta do that shit in the
You know what?
tornado.
All of us can kumbaya on is that all of our pro sports teams are going to make the playoffs in their last full season played. You know, the Pistons and Red Wings are going to punch that. I'm calling it right now. Put that parlay in, but also the college teams as well, which just makes this, I think, one of the most unique times in probably all of our sports history. All of our teams or schools are having success one way or the other. And obviously, you know, with Michigan football, you're getting that dub over Michigan State and Ohio State. And then you see the basketball program doing what it's doing. It's an awesome time, especially coming off of a national championship just a season or two ago.
Oh, yeah, so much. Like this is just a great time to, quite frankly, do this job and be in the content creation space with Detroit sports. It's a great time for you guys as listeners as well. And even though, obviously, I don't like what happened last night, it was an amazing shot. I really hate what Maryland did on that final possession. I don't understand a contested three when it's a tie game. Get something going to the basket for Christ's sake. But shout out. Maryland probably thought that they were going to get the last shot, and most times in that situation they did, but Trey Holloman made a half-court three.
He's been on a run.
He's
been on a
drives me
run.
crazy. And you know what else, which makes me just see that as a Michigan fan, Michigan State went right back to their old ways of not being able to hit the broadside of the barn from the three, minus that Trey Holloman three as well. They shot 4 of 15. Of course they did. Wish they would have done that against Michigan, but that's water under the bridge. But Michigan
26%,
State,
it was rough.
yeah. Hey, but you guys got the win. But the thing about Michigan State, which really stands out to me, and JB, I know you follow them closer than anybody on this show, is that I'm looking at guys who came back. Jaden Akins isn't having a particularly good year.
He is not.
I mean, Trey Holloman and Jeremy Fears, they're good distributors, but they can't really shoot. Xavier Booker is a complete bust as a 5-star. He hasn't really done a whole lot. I mean, Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper, they're solid rotational big men. Frankie Fiddler's not really that impactful of a transfer. But the reason you guys are so good, Jace Richardson, man. The dude's a baller. The dude's going to put himself as a lottery pick, and he's had a phenomenal freshman season. Tell me more about what you've seen from him.
I mean, you guys already know his father played at MSU as well, too. But he's just, like, kind of blossomed in himself this season as well, too. I will agree that, you want to see a lot more from Akins and Fears as well, too, because they kind of seem to – are wishy-washy. They're very up and down when it comes game to game. So you need that extra guard to step up as well, too. I have no problems with Richardson. Like, he is going to be your number one right there. But you need another guard to help facilitate more out there because defense can only get you so far. So you're going to need to step up your shooting a lot more. And God, the threes, I don't know what we need to do with these threes. Like, do you just need more practice? Like, do you need another shooting coach? I don't know what's going on, but you got to stop with these piss poor 3 shots you're just throwing up there right now.
Yeah, I would think that them being so bad from deep will limit their ceiling as far as getting to a Final Four, winning a national championship. But they've proven that most of the time, even though they don't shoot threes well, they still manage to find ways to win. Do I think that will work going up against a Duke or one of the SEC powerhouses like Bama, Florida, or Auburn? Not necessarily, but MSU still has time to fix some of those, like right some of those wrongs. And you saw them against Michigan. They got hot for one game, and it was one of their biggest wins of the season. So got to give them their credit. They're going to be dangerous going down the stretch. And also, you might as well call Trey Holloman the Maryland Grim Reaper, because Maryland, if they would have won that game, they could have at least given themselves some hope for maybe getting a share of the Big Ten title themselves. If they would have beat State, they have a game against Michigan later. But Trey Holloman ended all of that, and now Maryland is going to be on the outside looking in as far as Big Ten championship hopes, and they might not even get a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. So sometimes it's not about just winning the game. It's about knocking your opponents out. And Michigan State, that was big time last night. Trey Holloman was absolutely big time. It wasn't necessarily a pretty game, but they got it done. A Big Ten road win over a ranked team. I am never going to poo-poo that. You take them any way you can get them, and JB is going to be having dreams about this shot for a long time. Some of them, I'm sure, erotic, but that's okay. That's okay.
That's how you sound with the VR headset.
Goodness. Shout out to you, JB Smooth. You're having a run, your Spartans as of late. And I know Flannel hates this, but I'm telling you, it's starting to really feel like it's gearing up to January, February.
I will say this. I hate it because on the national scene, I still think he's a little bit of an overrated coach. He doesn't belong in conversation with Coach K and Roy Williams, Jay Wright, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
At least one more.
But if he gets one more, he's an absolute made man. But the man does know how to get to Final Fours. So when it comes to regional rounds, when it comes to Sweet 16 games, no matter who they're playing, you can't count them out. Like I said, there are some teams in college basketball, like the SEC teams, like Duke, that I think are clearly at a different level. But MSU, man, if they win out and if they win the Big Ten tournament, which isn't outside the realm of possibility, they might find themselves with a 1 seed. And I know MSU fans would love that. As a Michigan fan, that terrifies me, but they're earning it. They're getting big win after big win. Right after that Indiana game, which was really their one bad loss of the season, they followed it off. They followed it by beating Purdue, Michigan, and Maryland back to back to back. That's just that's fantastic. There's nothing I can say about that except tip my cap. Hopefully, you guys don't win the Natty. Hopefully, you guys don't win the get to the Final Four, and hopefully Michigan gets their get back at Breslin. But they're formidable. And if you got a guy like Jace Richardson, he's that NBA talent that you need to have to make those deep runs. And Michigan State has that. Michigan does too. But Jace Richardson is really, in a lot of ways, saving the team and putting them on his back offensively, at least.
Yeah. And just before we close out this segment, both of you guys, actually, I'll start with you, JB Smooth.
What's up?
What's the outlook for Michigan State? Big Ten tournaments on the way. They're obviously in the driver's seat for the Big Ten regular season title. And then finally, where do you have them landing right now, based on what you think heading into March Madness?
I mean, obviously, Big Ten regular season, that's probably in the bag. The Big Ten championship, I'm hoping that, we can kind of lock in and clamp down a little bit more, and they can actually get there and, make themselves champion once again. As far as the big tournament goes, I'm at least seeing Elite Eight. At least Elite Eight for me. Hopefully, it's further than that, but as of right now, I'm seeing Elite Eight. Once again, we got to lock down with the shooting defense. I don't have a problem with, but it's just the shooting. You need another guard to step up and be that number 2 as well. So that's for me.
And maybe that'll end up being Trey Holloman. Maybe he ends up shooting well from 3 for the rest of the season. And I always point to Jaden Akins was not a bad 3-point shooter until this year.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. If you would have told me this year that Jaden Akins would be putting up the numbers and the shooting splits that he is, and Xavier Booker would continue to give you basically nothing, I would have said that Michigan State was fighting for a tournament spot. But it's a testament to guys like Jace Richardson. It's a testament to some of the other supplementary players. I didn't even mention Cohen Carr, who's a demon in transition. It's a testament to Tom Izzo, who, even though I think on a national level is a bit overrated, he's the best Big Ten coach in my lifetime. I'm willing to concede that he's the best Big Ten coach ever. There's certainly an argument for Bob Knight. But if Tom Izzo gets that second national championship at Michigan State, I will never say another disparaging word about him because he will get into that rarefied air. Like where you're talking about him and the Roy Williamses and the Jay Wrights in the same sentence.
Yep, and for you, same question applies for Michigan. That outlook over the next 2 to 4 weeks for Michigan basketball. Obviously, they got a chance to redeem themselves with the Big Ten tournament on the way, and then March Madness. Dusty May has been a guy that's had some success there.
Yeah, basically is Florida Atlantic basketball. There were nothing before he got there. He took him to a Final Four, so I love that. I love that pedigree and that Final Four experience. I would say that, I don't know, the loss at MSU was at home versus MSU, which is even worse, was discouraging. That win at Nebraska, it was ugly, but I like the way that they defended and made some big shots down the stretch. I think they've got the talent. They got 3 consecutive home games. They've got Rutgers. They've got Illinois. They've got Maryland. I'd like to see them win all 3 of those, and I'd like to see them have a better showing at the Breslin Center than they did at Chrysler. If they somehow win out in the regular season, I'll be all back in on this team can win the national championship because they have that talent. It's just they've got some fatal flaws. They still turn the ball over at the highest rate in the Big Ten, and right now, at least in the last 7 games, even though they're 6-1 in those games, they've turned into MSU from behind the arc. That cost them. I mean, that cost them against MSU. That might cost them again down the stretch, and just hopefully it doesn't. Will Shedder, Trey Donaldson, Namari Burnett, even Danny Wolf. I'm going to need better three-point shooting from every single one of you because those are the guys that can do it. I don't expect nothing from Roddy Gale, Reuben Jones, Vlad Golden from deep, but the guys who can shoot 3, I expect more from them.
Rebounds, three-pointers, and
Rebound
turnovers.
the basketball.
Yes.
Vlad Golden, I want more double-doubles. Danny Wolf, I want a double-double every game for the rest of the season. That's not too much to ask. He averages one for crying out loud. But just second-chance opportunities, can't have those. Those are demoralizing. Michigan's got the talent. MSU's got the talent. We'll see how it goes in the NCAA tournament because that's just a whole different animal. We're going to be seeing the type of teams, hopefully if they make it that far, that they've just never seen before.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to Michigan and Michigan State right now for giving themselves these great opportunities to be heavily favored in the mix when it comes down to March Madness. And honestly, I believe that it's going to be fireworks in this Big Ten tournament as well.
Oh, yeah.
When you're looking at what Dusty May has been in these types of tournament environments, he's one of those kind of master tacticians. And I can't wait to see what strategies he cooks up because you're right. That Michigan State game, if you're a Michigan fan with your casual or as locked in as Flannel, everybody's perspective, except for apparently Ryan Ermanni's, kind of changed after that Michigan game. So it's just like after that Michigan State game. So I do want to see this team continue to kind of bounce back and see when they meet them again, what Dusty May does to have his guys ready because all the advantages I thought that they would have, they just didn't.
Hey, I'm hanging out in the building today till later because I got some stuff to do that is later on, which is more on this side. It doesn't make sense for me to go home. So if Ryan Ermanni comes in, I might have to pull him aside and have a conversation with him because I was not happy with his comments. I think it makes Michigan's basketball fans look bad. I think when you look at the context of he cares more about the tournament wins and national champions and Final Fours than rivalry games. I get that to some extent, but you can't convince me that if Michigan won that game that he wouldn't have came in here being a little braggadocious. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But shout out to Ryan Ermanni. He's forgotten more about this business than I know right now, but still, it doesn't mean that I liked what he said. Yeah.
Right. Let me speak to you, sir.
Let me just talk to you real quick.
Well, you know what? It is this first segment, victory segment for JB Smoove and his Michigan State Spartans getting a half-court heave to sink Maryland, man, at the buzzer. It was hype. I couldn't even front, man. We were down in the meeting room. It was like, yo, looking at the highlights. It was hype. But you know what? Another team won again.
Yeah.
Them Detroit Pistons. We got to get there, man. Run those lights up if you haven't got an opportunity to. And you know what, JB? Let's get a like poll going. And let's set that goal for the day, the super chat goal for today.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if we can give some more merch away. Let's rock.
Hey, absolutely. And there was a super chat that came in. When we come back from break, we'll find it and we'll read it. And you guys have been absolute rock stars when it comes to the super chats these last couple of days, especially Rando Smalls, man. You came through big, and I also saw you contributed on Big D Energy as well. So shout out to you.
I got your address, Rando. We got you, brother.
Hey, yep. Thank you for responding to that Kool-Aid. But first, I gotta tell you about Planet Fitness. Fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor, scan that QR code on the screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet, and if it doesn't hit, Caesars will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. It's the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports, so do yourself a favor, scan the QR code, use code word Woodward1000, and make some money today.
And what a game! Detroit Pistons win again. 117-97. The environment was insane. Hey, you got some Celtics players taking that walking shame, boy. About to go to the press conference and talk about it. 8 wins in a row. Let's go, Detroit. Let's rock, boy. The Celtics, dog. Hey, welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Goodness, what a victory for those Detroit Pistons. It wasn't just that it was a win, it was that they blew them out, and they did it in Detroit fashion. They held them under 100 points. The NBA's #1 defense over the last 8 games is these Detroit Pistons, man.
#1.
JB Bickerstaff, he's already locked up Coach of the Year. Argue with your mama if you disagree. I don't care. That's not for me. That's between y'all. These Detroit Pistons, man, it's so much that we could talk about. But I want to start here first and just say shout out to the fans. because the environment was epic. Hey, those that showed up, that top 10 in attendance, last night was epic. And some of the people that were in the arena from other places were like, you know what? Detroit might be back. I'm like, y'all are just late already. JB, let's see that one, man. They had a couple nice defensive stops at the end of the first half, and Malik Beasley was getting the crowd amped up, bro, and it was epic. Let's run that real quick before we get going.
I think I got it. I think it's this one.
Mike's still up. Look at LCA, man. That
place is packed out.
That is beautiful, bro.
And they watched him force a shot clock violation.
Violation.
I don't think I ever heard LCA that loud.
That place rocking, bro.
Dog, and you know what? First, that environment is insane. Just the basketball in me that just wants to break that play down. Malik Beasley knew at the end that he could sell out on the three-point shot because if you look at it, he takes a look up at the shot clock first and realized if he passes it, the other guy has no chance at getting a shot off. So he went over and just lunged. And that's the type of defense we've seen. This team putting together smart defensive plays, connected defensive plays, not giving up on anything. Like, this is what's spurring this team. And they said it multiple times. We heard from multiple players that they said those fans actually did make a difference for them. And you talk about this team trying to find a way to play in big moments in spots that they haven't played in. Only Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, and Malik Beasley know what this is like. But if you ask me, like, Ron Holland looked like a vet last night.
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham looked like he'd been doing this for 10 years already. Jalen Duren looked like he's been doing this for some time. But it's crazy when you think about Isaiah Stewart as the longest tenured Piston, and that's what, 5 years? So it's like, shout out to this Detroit Pistons team. JB Bickerstaff, he continued to talk about this is the standard. And he said, you know what? Yeah, this is what happens when we play up to our standard. And tonight we were close to that. Wait, a 20-point victory where you bludgeoned the Celtics is close?
Close. Yeah, we just close.
That's close, Flannel?
It's certainly to us, it felt like.
How much better can it be?
It can't get any better. A 20-point win over the defending champions who had most of their horses. I don't want to hear anything about Jaylen Brown not playing because Tatum was out there.
Yeah. And
Pritchard, Porzingis, Holiday, Derek White,
Schroeder
et cetera.
didn't play. Fontecchio didn't play.
Jaden Ivey's been out forever. But, there's going to be a lot that we're going to talk about regarding this game because there's a lot to break down. But on an extremely macro level, to go off of what you said, this team, and it's showing it especially in these last 8 games, is becoming molded in the image of their head coach, JB Bickerstaff. We said it at the beginning of the year. His calling card was defense. His last 3 seasons in Cleveland, when they were a winning team, they were 5th in defensive rating, 1st and 7th respectively. But the question I think a lot of Pistons fans had, myself included, was do the Pistons have the dogs to really be that top 10 defense? Because, you talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They, of course, had Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and they still do, and those are some twin tower rim protectors. But I'll tell you what, the Pistons do have those dogs because over the totality of the season, you've seen Isaiah Stewart be the best pound-for-pound rim protector in the whole bleeping NBA. You've seen Asar Thompson develop into somebody who I'm looking at as a potential defensive player of the year. I'm thinking that he should be 5 steals in less than 30 minutes. I'm talking about him as somebody who should be first team all defense. Will he be? Probably not because he hasn't played enough games.
He undressed Jason Tatum on the defensive end and on the offensive end last night.
He made Jason Tatum touch earth. We know what he did to Jason Tatum on defense, but even offensively.
You can cue.
He cooked his ass.
Keep cooking, Flannel, because you're cooking. But just, JB, I think you got that clip too.
Play it. I don't want to keep cooking. I want to see the play.
I'm so bad he didn't go up for the layup after that. I'm like, dog, take the layup.
Everybody's like, bro, dunk on his
ass, bro. It was the right basketball play. Come on, don't do that.
It was, but I don't want to hear that, man. I wanted him to finish that play, but it was amazing, though. It was amazing.
Last night felt like the Coliseum, and they wanted him to go for it all.
Yep.
That's what the fans were. You're right. The right basketball play, and Stewart went to the line.
You mean this clip right here?
He cooked Tatum. Cooked his ass.
Come here. Look, when Jason Tatum winds up, you just let that roll. Oh my gosh, you got the steal?
Somebody help my man.
When he winds up on the injury report, like sore knee,
right.
sore ankles,
knee soreness,
right. Lower leg injury,
got taken from him.
Make sure that we post this like right away, JB Smooth, just so everybody knows. No, this is a real injury. This isn't just load management. He really got effed up right here. Like that was the post, man. We put, he did him so dirty, and like the way the broadcast view is, it's cool. But when the way that LCA puts those things up on their screen,
man,
I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years. You get some of the best looks at these crossovers, man. And Asar Thompson continues to just redefine what we think he's capable of. And the ceiling, that's what's made this team so good, is the ceiling of these other players. I thought it was just Jalen Duren and Tobias take that leap. And we knew, all right, Asar's going to be a point of attack defender. But what he's been offensively has just been, even last night, it was 7 points, modest scoring. But he just fits into this thing.
Yeah.
This wasn't as if it felt like they were playing 4-on-5 on offense. It's just that everybody else was cooking. Everybody on offense just seemed to just cook for this team, and they staved off 54% shooting on 23 or 26 attempts in the first half from 3 by Boston. They hit 54%, bro, from behind the arc. And that team still sacked up and beat them down by 20 points in the second half.
That's what was so impressive, because we know that I think the biggest lead that the Pistons had in the first half, it was a 43-28. And the Celtics, credit to them, they're a championship team. They got in fuego from 3, and that's putting it lightly, and they were able to tie the game at halftime. And a lesser Pistons team, a team without the backbone that they have, might have crumbled. Not only did they not crumble, they outscored the Celtics by 20 in the second half. They held the Celtics to 42 second half points, the defending champion. And in that third quarter, I know that there is a lot of good to go around with this guy when it comes to the whole game. Asar Thompson, because Jason Tatum was cooking in the first half, but in the third quarter, the way that Asar Thompson was able to put the clamps on him, the way that he was able to switch off when necessary and then go back to clamping up Tatum, that athleticism, that defensive instinct, that's just touched by God type of stuff. And it's honed by a JB Bickerstaff, but his athleticism, his defensive instinct is just, it's otherworldly.
Yeah, and he still contributed in other ways. 6 of 6 rebounds as well, man.
50%
Like
shooting from the field.
He just goes out there and contributes to winning basketball. That's why you love Asar so much. And his offense is growing before our eyes. He will be a better offensive player as the years come on, but you just absolutely love it. And they did shoot pretty well, the Celtics did, but you want to know how we counteracted that? We destroyed them in the paint. There was nothing they can do. 62-20 in terms of points in the paint. What are we talking about? They destroyed them in the fast break as well, 29-8. I mean, this Pistons team, when they're running, when they're in rhythm, getting up and down the floor, they are a very, very tough team to beat. You add to the fact that we shoot the 3 well. You add to the fact that we play defense. Everybody is on. Everybody is the synchronization, the way they rotate. It's just this team is on fire right now, man, and they are exceeding everyone's expectations, man. I absolutely love to see it.
And you know what? I love the way the Pistons send over the box scores. I'm going to bring that up because the shooting well thing, let's put that into context. We said they shot 54% from behind the arc in the first half, but overall for the game, they shot 42%. That means that the Detroit Pistons made some adjustments, and JB Bickerstaff did say that. They were like, what was going on in the first half, and how'd you guys overcome that? He said, we were effectively – remember how I told you guys? He'll step to the podium and say, they weren't following the game plan.
Yeah.
And he said it. He was like, no, we saw them. We showed them at halftime that their threes, check this out. Talk about not even wanting to give the Celtics the credit. He said, no, their threes was because of our breakdowns.
Yeah, our mistakes.
We didn't finish. We didn't follow the game plan. Then they went out in the second half, followed the game plan. They put the clamps on them from all over the floor. Everything that was working for them in the first half, it absolutely went away. It was non-existent in the second half. Jason Tatum, you don't matter in the second half. Your three-point shooting, you don't matter in the second half. Peyton Pritchard, you don't matter. It just was what it was. Derek White, that's about the only thing that they can walk away with. Cade had a couple times to dunk on him to continue the trend, and he didn't get those dunks. But you guys still, I think that when you look at this team and you look at, when we talk about the ceiling of it, when you look at guys like Asar Thompson, that's where the ceiling gets to go even higher. Because most of what we believe this team could do would be if the veterans continued on and if Jalen Duren took that leap alongside the Cade Cunningham. But instead, we're seeing a lot of these young players on the team, including an Isaiah Stewart, still giving you major contributions, and not just major contributions to this team. Like back in the day, it used to be, okay, we got a lot of dogs on the squad, but they don't necessarily show up in the league stats, but there are dogs. We know what they're contributing to winning. No, Isaiah Stewart is showing up as one of the best rim protectors and paint protectors in all of the league. Asar Thompson is showing up as one of the best defenders and point of attack defenders and leaders in steals in all the league. Jalen Duren is showing up as one of the tops in dunks per game in all the league. Tobias Harris, during this run, has been the top player in the NBA in plus minus.
It's true. It's insane, but it's true. And speaking of Tobias Harris, we got to give him credit for last night as well. 16 points,
he been balling,
9 rebounds. I know Chase loves that. A couple of blocks as well. And
this month he has been balling.
I'll tell you what, too.
He has been
when
balling.
It comes to Tobias, and I know that there's a lot more to talk about defensively than just Tobias. Like I said, we're going to go at this as long as we can, and we're going to be all over the place. But when's the last time we've seen Tobias Harris be this engaged defensively? He has been locked the F in.
Oh, you know what? That was, I think, my first 3 or 4 tweets of the game, because I live tweet him at Detroit Kool-Aid, and I was like, yo, he's locked in, because you know who he started off defending, right? And everybody said, oh, is KP, is he going to play or not? Is Porzingis going to play or not? Because he didn't play the night before, and obviously there was some lingering injury. They said he came out there to play, and I was like, all right, Tobias versus KP, that's your key matchup. If they find a way to deal with that to start the game, then the Pistons are going to have blowout level success early in this game. And what did you see Tobias doing? On one end, making sure to keep Porzingis in check. He was defending him in a way where everything seemed to be falling just short, and Tobias wasn't biting on the pump fakes. That was the difference in, I think, their game last night. They seemed to really stay in. They packed in the paint, and they didn't bite on pump fakes, and it allowed them to be able to just kind of play good defense and have a presence on whoever they were defending. And that allowed the Pistons to get into their best offense, what they call defense to offense, or grabbing that rebound and getting out into the break. Like, the Celtics looked like they showed up to a track meet that they didn't know they showed up to.
Yeah.
And the Detroit Pistons were like, we don't care. Like the Celtics look like, yo, we weren't ready for the gun and then to start running. The Pistons like, we just don't care about that right now. You better start running or you're going to get rolled over. And they got rolled over. They were not ready for the Pistons' physicality. They weren't ready for the level of hustle that the Pistons brought. They weren't ready for the level of sideline antic and energy that J.B. Bickerstaff brought. He was on one. Like, players walk by him. If he's feeling it, he's chirping. And I'm just like, dog, let's
They
rock.
wanted that game.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, everything from top to bottom with this team, these guys are fighting, and they want more. They're not sitting back, like, satisfied. And they stated that. Like, no, man, we need more. We're not satisfied right now. And shout out to Cade, too, getting a lot of attention. He uses his stage to highlight the other players. He highlighted Isaiah Stewart and Asar Thompson as their pillars on defense. And he called Asar Thompson the best defender in the NBA.
You know, that is a heck of a cliffhanger, because we have to remember we got to still take breaks. I know I want to go forever on this, but let's talk more about Cade and the rest of the Pistons.
Mellow Yellow.
When we come back, because
my boy Mellow Yellow.
Because there is so much love to go around, and even though Cade didn't have his best night shooting the basketball, he was incredibly impactful in so many ways, and still, despite not having his best game shooting, still led the team in scoring. He is just impervious to bad games at this point. But first, tell us about merch.
Definitely. Let me clear up some of these super chats we got going on right now, because we have a ton of them. And like I said, we appreciate every single thing that you give and you donate to us on our way and our goals to making it to Vegas, as well as the donation goal as well too, that we're giving away some stuff. So let me start this off right. Rando Smalls, $5. That dude from Boston last night. Walsh, is he an alien?
Come on, Rando.
I mean, he might be. We don't really know. I don't really know. Shout out to Phil once again, sending in $1.99. He just said, "Go Pistons." What's up?
Hey,
John sent $1.99 in. He said, "89-04 Pistons had those intros. Bring them back." I agree with that. What do you guys think? Bring back the intros?
I think that this is one of those things where, you know, like,
they need their own.
They had to win the division. The Lions had to win the division, and they got the black jerseys.
Yeah.
I think that you cook up in the playoffs.
Cook up in the playoffs.
Earn this, and them young boys, they're earning it right now. That's what I would do.
No, I agree with you 100%, because And this is where I have to add just a tiny bit of levity. We are on a high about this team, as we should. Their improvement is, you can't put it into words enough. And they just culminated that by beating the defending champions by 20 on their home court, and they're not done. However, teams like the Nuggets, teams like even the Celtics are still, even the Milwaukee Bucks are still looking at the Detroit Pistons as like a team whose cheeks you can pinch. It's not going to be for long, but in terms of bringing back introductions, I agree with you, Kool-Aid. Get into the playoffs, do some damage in the playoffs, maybe get home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and then all bets are off.
Look, they're tied with the Bucks for 5th. They are just shy of the Pacers for 4th.
Yep.
And you know what? They're going to have a great shot at that.
Absolutely, they are.
That's what's up.
51 and 4 seed looking
I'll
good.
tell you what, KG, I was
Looking
thinking
good.
about you last night. I was thinking about you. When they
Yeah.
beat the Celtics by 20, I'm like, are they going to win 51 games? Was this man a prophet?
I might be.
A prophet, an overcorrecting prophet, that is, but a prophet nonetheless.
But look, I was playing like some shit, man. Yeah, so I had to correct. I had to get right. But thank you for my team for bringing that up, man.
Look,
This
that's
is
why
why.
I tell y'all, look, that last 27 games, when they only had 27 games left, they were 18-9. And now it looks like they want to have a better record these last 27 games of the All-Star break than they had prior. It's insane what this Pistons team is doing now. We got a lot more to talk about.
We got a lot more to talk about and a lot more super chats to get through as well, too.
Are we at a...
We're not at our goal yet of $50 daily, but hey, we're getting there. We're almost there. And shout out to nobody for sending in $5. I know Michigan is a football state, but man, when we're good at basketball, that feeling is unmatched. Go Pistons, go Blue, go Sparty. Shout out to you. $10 from Trent over here sending in, quote, but who have they beat? The MF and reigning champs. That's who.
Yeah.
Great show, fellas. Shout out to Trent, man. Burns sending in another $5 super chat. NBA has no idea how to handle a team that wants to play hard in the paint, who hustles with an ethical superstar who dies for the balls and fights. Man, shout out.
K's just an ethical hooper, man. No
He
foul
is.
baiting. No foul baiting.
No
at
foul
all.
baiting.
He just goes and does work. If you don't want to give him the foul call, he'll still drop 30 on your head. You give him the foul call, he'll drop maybe 40 on your head. I think he'll get that 50 if they continue to give him those foul calls.
Inject that into my veins. We got any more super chats or?
No more super chats.
Hey,
so let me tell
thank
you
you
about
guys, for
some
real.
merch
You guys
that we
have been
got
rock stars
going
these
on
last couple days.
right now. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. You're dropping new designs every week for you. We got some new designs coming as well too, but you can't forget about the Red Wings, the LFG Red Wings t-shirts and hoodies, and also the Woodward Tigers as well too. Remember, spring training is almost done. The regular season starting so soon, so get decked out in some of this gear.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
At Lady Jane's, we take the charge of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage, my favorite. That hot leather neck shave. I might have to have a victory show one today.
Nice and
a
wet.
hot towel treatment, man. No tuck show going on over here. No
Towel
Steve
placement
Smith
varies.
jobs. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome.
And Mark White.
Hey, Mark White, man. Gonna get you right. Dreaming of a new home with the Financial Pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Celtics fan, tell me about these Detroit Pistons, man.
As a Celtics fan, I live actually in Windsor, so it's good to see them be good again, you know, with Duran. They're young, right? Duran, Cade, all those guys. Even with Ivy Ivy hurt now too, right? And when he comes back, they're going to be a different beast, man. And this win streak too, like I said, it's good to have them be good again because now I get to watch the Celtics in the playoffs, hopefully in Detroit.
Let's go.
So it always makes it good for basketball when Detroit's good. That's all I'm matters, man.
That's right.
All right.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And those Detroit Pistons, they pummel the Boston Celtics 117-97. This was one of those ones where it was a complete team effort on offense. Their chemistry is just clicking right now, man. Those guys are just in the right places. Like Cade understands where his shooters and his outlets are going to be. And you know what? The secondary ball handling and facilitation from the entire team last night with Dennis Schroeder out, you didn't miss a beat. It seemed like that offense was clicking, and a lot of it has to do with that number one defense over the last 8 games. That number one defense really since they've been a top 5 defense since January 1st, and that spurred a lot more opportunities for them to utilize their athleticism and their speed, and they're catching the notice of national media as well as fans like the Boston Celtics.
And if you, and the Celtics, I'm sure that Jaylen Brown's not going to be talking crazy about the Pistons anymore. No. But to be fair, the Pistons had to go out and shut Jaylen Brown up, and they did, and that is just another layer to the chef's kiss that was the game last night. Wow. But Kool-Aid, you mentioned it. We've talked about it throughout the show. What really was the key to the game? And I think this is pretty universal. It doesn't take like a basketball savant to watch it, to see it, even though we have one in the building right here, is defense leading to offense. The amount of steals and transition points they were able to get. I mean, in the first quarter, you obviously saw it, but I looked back at the box score. There were 3 steals by Asar Thompson in the first quarter that directly led to layups or dunks on the other end. You even saw with Isaiah Stewart blocks. Isaiah Stewart had 2 blocks. One led to a Malik Beasley 3, and one led to an easy bucket on the other end. Ron Holland was active defensively. And also, and this is something that I mentioned on the show, talking about keys to the game yesterday. The Boston Celtics, they shoot a lot of threes, and they were making a lot of threes in the second quarter. But when they were missing those threes, what do three-pointers lead to? Missed three-point shots lead to? They lead to long rebounds, and they were getting out into transition pretty much at will. Listen to these stats. I know that we've talked about it before, but I wanna hammer this home again. The Pistons out-rebounded the Celtics 51-32. When the Celtics were missing those threes, the Pistons were grabbing the rebounds, and they were getting out in transition. They were getting fast break points to the tune of 29 of them, while the Celtics had 8. Obviously, you watch the game, and it tells the best story of all, but you can also look at the box score and realize this was even more belt to ass than we even realized. The Pistons dominated that game, particularly that second half. I mean, that second half, Kool-Aid, you sent over the second half box score. When we tell you that Jason Tatum was cooking in the first half and was clamped in the second half, that is, borne out by the box score. 4 of 11 in the second half, 1 of 5 from 3 after having a great first half. Nobody was really getting it going for the Celtics in the second half. They had 42 points, for crying out loud. But defense leading to offense, leading to transition buckets was just a thing of beauty. It was a work of art. Put that game in the Louvre.
It's so crazy how effective it is for them, because I have a hard time. I'm always going to say defense first. Defense, and it's the catalyst for them to be able to get out there. But it's allowed them now to have this be a weapon that's equally as important and good for them, because they're getting free points when you don't have to just settle and wait and facilitate only in half court. And guess what? A lot of those plays are being ran or finished by people not Cade Cunningham. This allows his usage to go down. This allows him to be a little bit more preserved. This allows you all to not have to go up against like Boston Celtics defense, which is really good all the time. If it's not set, guess what? You have the advantage. How many threes did we see just because they pushed the pace off of a rebound?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like when they can be like that, it helps because they didn't have their backup facilitator. So what do you have to do sometimes? Push the pace on everything. Man, like I remember when our starting point guard would go down, that's like one of the most basic things. When you're down a facilitator, you got to get out and run. Yeah. And they tell you, make sure everybody's boxing out, make sure you're getting your hands in the passing lane because you give yourself an opportunity to play against an unset defense that's backpedaling. And that's what the Pistons did last night. They had the Celtics on their heels, and honestly, they made them look old. I'm just being for real with you. They just did. The Pistons were more physical. They were more up for like the match. Like, and Asar Thompson just, it seems like they can't even pick him. He was slithering around all of the different screens. 2 of the steals on Jason Tatum came when they tried to pick Asar Thompson. He still got around the screen, and I don't think Jason Tatum understood it. Because he tried to cross back over, and when he did, Asar Thompson literally was like, I got these.
Can't do that against him.
He can't do that. It's insane right now, and the fact that JB Bickerstaff has these guys in the right position, but that these guys are hungry. They want this right now. It's amazing. You brought up that second half box score. What's awesome is this. When you look at the first half box score, right? They shot 53.8% on 26 attempts. That's 14 threes. They shot 48.8%, almost 50% from the floor. And they got 55 points. That's the Boston Celtics, right? But JB Bickerstaff said, no. We knew what to do. We made sure to reassess that and repunctuate that in the halftime. And what they do, they came out and they held them to 33.3% from the floor in the second half on 39 attempts. And on 23 three-point attempts, 30.4% in the second half. They put the clamps on. They were all over the place. And that's what this team has to be. That has to be their superpower. Cade Cunningham is always going to give them an opportunity to be in games, have chances late. But when you see this defense go out there and do what it does, and it gives them the ability to do it, even Cade called their best offense, get out and run. Every time you say how many fast break points they had, it's just like pouring to me. It's music to my ears, man. This is the way the Detroit Pistons have to continue to play because it takes advantage of all of their best skills and it lessens everything that they need to potentially improve on. I'm all the way in for this style of play.
They didn't look like a team that had 3 games in 4 days, did they?
No, not at all.
To give that kind of defensive effort, and I think that only bodes well for what we could see in the playoffs as well. You need to be able to play this kind of defense against teams like this, and just the way they continue to grow. You got to give JB Bickerstaff all the flowers in the world, man. He has these guys ready. They play a great style of man defense, but they also know how to rotate, and it's just been beautiful to watch. Go ahead, Flannel.
Yeah, no, and another person that I want to highlight as well, because Asar Thompson deserves all the flowers in the world. He made a case that he's the best wing defender in the NBA. Maybe I'm on some homer stuff. I don't really care. I would say that he is. There's nobody I'd rather have clamping up a other team's star than Asar Thompson right now. But I also have to give credit to a man that I've come full circle on. My journey on this guy has been documented. I wish it hasn't been documented, but it has. But I'll give credit when credit is due. Ron Holland, man. Ron Holland getting those steals and leading the transition, getting transition hoops, getting transition assists it was phenomenal. He's one of those guys that will give you, when he's playing at his best, he will give you 15 to 20 incredibly impactful minutes. He'll get steals, he'll get assists, he'll get easy buckets, he'll get those, he'll cut to the rim, he'll get looks from Cade, he'll run out in transition. He's another one that has just grown so much over the year. And this was, to me, I know that he's had other really good games, but on this stage with what he did, you could argue that this was Ron Holland's best game too.
Very minimal mistakes, very good defense. He hustled. He was getting out in transition. Some of the things that Ivy had to learn as it related to, slow down while still going fast.
Right.
It seemed like Ron Holland is starting to understand that a little bit better too, even in transition. And it's giving him an opportunity to finish a lot of these plays and be effective in that, because honestly, that's what you need. on this team, he said he wants to play defense, but when you're going to also be that transition team and give yourself an opportunity to get downhill, you got to be able to finish as well. And that's something that he's doing very, very good. When you look at some players we've had in the past that we drafted in the first round, even like guys like a Stanley Johnson, the promise was there, but the actualization wasn't. So what I see out of Ron Holland right now, actually going and putting proof of concept to work, that to me is where I'm just like, dope. Because everyone's initial reaction, we settled down. That's why I love to be able to talk about when we break this thing down. There was a reason why he was number 9 on the big board. There was a reason why he was number 1 on Troy Weaver's big board. And it's all of the things that we see going on right now, despite any aspect of a three-point shot. And this is something I've written articles on over the last 3 years about how effective players can be, whether they have the three-point shot or not, as long as you have the right offensive system. And what we see right now is Asar Thompson, right? Mm-hmm. We see Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, and Isaiah Stewart all having great years. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the three-point shot. Even on the pass, they tried to make Asar Thompson shoot threes and stick him in the corner. Even on the pass, they tried to make Isaiah Stewart shoot a bunch of threes. There were games when he had 6 attempts or like 4 or 5 attempts in the first quarter of some games. Now it seems like J.B. Bickerstaff, he spoke to this about being able to put these players in a position to be effective from the perimeter, period. Remember, we talked about it. Dives, cuts, DHOs, getting these guys in movement and emotion because they're so athletic. And now that they're doing that, it's unlocked Point Duran as a hub. That's what I'm saying. Like, now you got a coach that's actually putting these guys in motion, and it's looking like poetry.
I want to talk about that too, because when you watch the game last night, it was incredible, and we've talked about it before, but I want to reiterate it. The steals that Ron Holland and Asar Thompson were able to get, 8 between them, even though Ron Holland played less than 20 minutes and Asar Thompson played less than 30. Isaiah Stewart with a couple of blocks as well. When you talk about the stocks of the Detroit Pistons, you're mainly talking about those 3, and those 3 are turning into defensive demons. I mean, I'd say Isaiah Stewart and Asar Thompson already are, and Ron Holland is certainly on his way. But it wasn't just that. You mentioned it before. The other way in which they were effective, other than getting steals and leading transition, whether it was finishing or facilitating, was they were moving without the ball, and they each finished some of Cade Cunningham's good looks. He was getting them easy looks as well. He got a couple for Asar, a couple for Holland, and one for Beef Stew, which was a dunk, I believe. Yeah. So that's a big part in how you're going to play well on this team. You got to play defense as they are at an elite level. You got to, be out in transition, but also move without the ball, get open, and Cade will find you. I don't care if it's a dark room with no light. If you're open, Cade Cunningham will find you, and they are finishing. Those are some finishing demons using what they have, size and athleticism, to dunk that ish and finish and lay it up. It's beautiful.
Getting to the foul line.
Getting to the foul. Yeah. Hey, shout out, because Stu was able to get to the foul line after Asar Thompson made Jason Tatum do the spin cycle as well. So all 3 of those guys, I think those 3 together, Stu, Ron Holland, and Asar Thompson in tandem, played about as well of a game as you can possibly play from largely defensive role players. They're more than that. But as far as like defensive role players, I'm so glad that those guys are on our team.
Hey, I see you, Greg. He's one of them OGs from the Woodward Pistons days. He said the biggest thing I love about Kool-Aid is they never gave up on the Pistons. But honestly, there was a lot of people. Like, the success of the platform is because there was a lot of people who didn't give up on the Pistons. Like I said, these guys continue to keep me motivated, even including me during a time when people were like, don't talk about the Pistons. And so it's like those types of things. Those are the reasons why it's like, you push even more. And now the Pistons are giving us good, I want to say great, but you got to go out there and accomplish some stuff. Yeah. But some good basketball. But there was something else I saw here that caught my eye.
Ooh, you know what? Let's get to it after the break because we
just a statement. Detroit Dabber. I can honestly say I'm happy for all our teams.
Okay, cool, awesome. Shout out Dabber. I know I went at you a little bit in the beginning, but we can certainly on the Pistons.
Bitch.
Hey, when we come back though, this is where I want to go. But you guys can take it anywhere you want. The Pistons just beat the defending champions by 20. There were a couple players that I think made statements in a way, both when it comes to MVP and Sixth Man of the Year.
Okay.
Sweep them awards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I got to repent to you a little bit too, because you was kind of right. going back to the preseason. But we'll touch on it.
Tell us about Dr. Pierce.
Hey, you know what? Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy, every Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. I'm telling you guys, the Jaden Ivey stuff is getting me excited because he does believe that Jaden Ivey will be ready for the playoffs. He does believe that it's obviously going to be something mental that he's going to have to hurdle as well. But, man, can you imagine Jaden Ivey during the Pistons playoffs? Just walking out there in the jersey.
Oh, the crowd would lose their mind.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Stay tapped in because D-Mac has it. I mean, you got to trust the guy that D-Mac trusts because Dr. Jeff Pierce, he got it all, man. He got it all, including the secret sauce. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Jars Cannabis. Look, I hope you went and checked out the footage we had this past weekend from the Jars Utica location. The Rail Jam was going on. It was amazing. I got to meet a U.S. gold medalist, Kyle Mack, out there. Had a lot of fun. And Jars also has some really unique stuff going on as well, too. They got the Cheech and Chong pre-rolls. They also have these gummies as well, too, that have live rosin in them that are especially unique. And once they sell out, they are done. Then they do a whole entire new batch with a different flavor. I'm telling you right now, Jars Cannabis has everything you need to get high, because I know you want to get high.
Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what, Detroit Dabber, I agree with you too, man. I love all of our teams, and they are all percolating right now, man. Hey, you know what?
We do got some super chats to clear up.
What'd you say?
I said we do got some super chats to clear up as well too before we head.
Go right there. Yeah, definitely go right there.
Because once again, shout out to all you guys as well too. Flannel's favorite person in the chat, one Mr. Robert Sloppy Toppenheimer.
Hey, my dog. Shout out.
Chase, why you gotta do that? Making it worse.
He says,
it's a beautiful
get
act.
my team done games on national TV, man. I think he means damn games on national TV.
Yeah,
but yeah, get them some national TV games. Come on, right now.
It ain't happening this year, but next year, absolutely.
Listen, they've been taking some teams off. They need to start putting the Pistons on, especially since they got some big games.
Yeah.
They got some big games against some other big time teams. They need to find a way, man. They absolutely do. And you know what, JB? Before we get into this next segment, do you got the Aiden Hutchinson video?
I do got the Aiden Hutchinson video here. Let me clear these up real quick. John F. and Lord, $10. It looks like April in the D is back.
Damn right.
Keep crushing it, WUW Crew. And another $5 from Burn. Shout out once again, my guy. He says, something that gets overlooked. I saw them do it to the Harden. The Pistons punish teams for flopping. Pistons are so good at it. They bait flops for turnovers. Shout out to that as well too, man. Once again, but yeah, Hutch was in the building last night. Once again, repping the D.
Whoa. Look, we had to get the desk back down because Flannel's worlds collided in that clip there. But hey, no, it was epic to see him in the building. And you know what I always take away from whenever I see him or Dylan Larkin is that those are Michiganders. Those are hometown kids. When you see him fired up in a Pistons game, it's because you know he's rooted for them since he was a kid, just like all of us did too. And so it was dope to see him there in the building, the way that the people responded to him. And just to know, what a lot of people liked about the clip is just before they cut from him, he gave the crowd a wink, man, to the Jumbotron. So it's like, you know, he's already into that mystique. I can't wait to see what he brings to the football field. But after that, if you look at the score, after that, the Pistons went on a run. So shout out Aiden Hutchinson, man.
I was about to say, that score was an 8-point lead at that point.
Yeah.
That's the best part. You see when Hutch was on, it was an 8-point lead, and the Pistons were able to win by 20. I'm not saying Hutch had anything to do with it. It's just the coincidence that you see that 8-point game, final score, 20-point win, hold the Celtics to less than 100, hold them to 42 second-half points. It's just, I can't stop saying it because it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And you know what? I know we want to be able to highlight some of these other players as well as it relates to, and maybe coaches, these postseason awards. Weezy D313 said this. Pritchard got his 6-man stole by Bees last night. It reminded me of like just walking up to Lauren London and taking that chain off of her. Somebody, hey, JB cooked that up. Beasley, cooked that up because Beasley just snatched that from Pritchard. That's straight up.
That's why I don't want to hear about him. I don't want to hear about no Norman Powell. None of it. No
more. If Pritchard wasn't hitting the three, I'm gonna be for real with you. I didn't know what he was doing out there on the court. But Malik Beasley was diving on the floor. Malik Beasley was playing defense. Malik Beasley was getting out in transition. Malik Beasley was hitting threes. Malik Beasley was getting the LCA in Detroit fired the frick up, man, all single night. And it was epic to see, like, this guy, he wants the spotlight, which is awesome. He wants all the smoke, all the noise, and most importantly, he wants to put on for Detroit. He's another one of those guys that's from here. He talked about it in the post-game press conference too. So it's awesome to see a guy like Malik Beasley show out like that. And part of me wonders if there's some part of him where those narratives are in their minds as well. When you step out on that court and know, I got a chance to go out here up against another person that everybody's saying is the best guy off the bench. Skip that. That's Malik Beasley.
Hey, it is Malik Beasley. And to me, Malik Beasley last night, and I feel like I'm saying this a lot about certain Pistons, which tends to happen when you beat the defending champions by 20. I thought Malik Beasley played his best all-around game of the season. He did what he always does. He was just an absolute assassin sniper, however you want to say it, from three. 6 of 11. But that man was getting out in transition. He got a steal and a block. He got 5 rebounds. He got putbacks.
Well, that dunk for Malik Beasley was crazy.
Absolutely. And then that one play where it looked like he was in between an alley-oop and he just ended up just putting it up off the glass, which was awesome for him that he still made that because he made it more difficult than it had to be. And then he goes down the floor and he does that whatever like walk he's doing. You guys can't see it, but it was a pretty epic. But yeah, no, Peyton Pritchard, I'm not going to pretend that he was bad because he did shoot the ball well from 3. He did have 18 points, but you're right. As far as impact, Malik Beasley clears, and Malik Beasley, even when you just look at the counting stats, he was better. In terms of the counting stats, he was as impressive as anybody on the floor. And that, to me, was a 6-man of the year statement. And I think it actually makes it hit even more that it's not like Peyton Pritchard gave you 5 points on 1 of 4 from 3. He played pretty well in a lot of ways, but you could just see that Malik Beasley coming off the bench just provided so much more last night, provided so much more energy and instant offense than Peyton Pritchard could even dream of last night. Respect to Peyton Pritchard, but I want to see those odds have Malik Beasley at number 1 now, because that was a statement, and he was so much better than Peyton Pritchard last night that it's not even funny.
You're preaching over there, man, because Yeah, you don't want to disrespect the type of shooter that Pritchard was, but when you looked at the overall impact on the game, I'm glad that you laid it out that way. Every aspect of the game, Malik Beasley put his stamp there, and Peyton Pritchard couldn't say the same last night. And when you talk about what these, when you talk about like Cade and the most improved player of the year race, when you talk about JB Bickerstaff coach of the year, I don't know, and Malik Beasley, 6th man of the year, I get the whole, we just can't give him the 3, and I get that's what they traditionally do, but the Pistons are going to make this very, very difficult for them to screw them if they continue to do this, because we saw, team of the week, right? Team of the week. Look at what the Pistons are doing. One of the hottest teams in the NBA, but they ain't beat nobody. That's what they went on and said. It's like the backhandedness. They can't just go and just say, here you go. But that's the way it's always been. That Detroit versus everybody, that's the way it's always been. We always have to go out there and get it ourselves, and the Detroit Pistons are taking it. What up, though, Stick? Godfather's in the building. They're going out there and they're taking it, man. And I do believe that as you're talking about coming down the close of this season now, 23 games left to go and a lot riding on the line. I'm sorry, like the Pistons and that defense, I'm not really in a single game, I'm not afraid of anybody on their roster. Yeah. It's what kind of made me bullish about even when Jaden Ivey went down. I thought, you know what, they still got some dogs on the squad that can step up. I didn't know to some of the degrees. We're looking at some of this. They're exceeding my expectations by far, and I'm glad to say that. But I did believe that these dogs would be able to. I thought Tobias would be able to at least settle into his norm and things of that nature. Jalen Duren taking that step forward has been, I think, one of the biggest surprises for me. Like Ausar, I thought he could take a leap, and it's amazing what he's doing. But seeing Jalen Duren mid-season go from literally 20 games and not averaging a double-double to you would be surprised if he doesn't get one now. Yeah. It's insane right now for this. The especially, I don't even want to call him supporting cast. I think Cade has been so good and leapt up to places where he's only putting up stats, only him, LeBron, Jokic. He's an all-star. They had to fast-track this. People are now saying, is it first-team All-NBA for Cade now? I'm seeing this from national people. I think he's been so good. And that those young players haven't had the right coaching. Now we're starting to see guys like Duren and Ausar. I'm sorry, those guys are young stars to me. I'm just going to call it like it is. The success has been underpinned by these young players taking these steps forward. When you look at what Ausar Thompson's doing defensively, when you look at what Jalen Duren has been able to do defensively in the lob game, dunking the ball, rebounding the ball, this team, these young players, man, I'm going to say it, they're young stars. They might not be to the level that we see Cade at right now, but I don't want to discount who these young players are right now.
If Ausar Thompson plays the whole season, I think he's getting to the point where you can't deny him first-team All-NBA. Like I said, I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think he's even eligible for
All-NBA or all-defense?
All-defense.
Defense. Oh, God.
Yeah,
defense.
First-team All-defense. Yeah, we got you.
Mark Royal said we call these guys the show us Pistons.
I got a little ahead of my skis right there. All first-team, all-defense. Let me reiterate that. And yeah, you mentioned Jalen Duren as well. We talk about the Pistons and their rebounding advantage. Well, who leads the Pistons in rebounds? Who led them in rebounds last night? Who led them in offensive rebounds? Who was consistently getting open for Cade to find him for dunks and layups? It was Jalen Duren, including a stretch where he made a back-to-back to help extend the Pistons lead to 10. I believe he made it 81-71. And also, Jalen Duren, man, those second chance opportunities, those putbacks, it was Jalen Duren. So yeah, he's another one that's just been unreal in the month of February. And it's funny because this game was such a masterclass and it was such a great win over the defending champions that Jalen Duren almost gets lost in the shuffle, but he played great as well. Another double-double, another game where he was finishing Cade Cunningham assists, another game where he was rebounding offensively and defensively. Just, he did it all as well. He did exactly what you needed him to do that night.
Yeah, and KG, I got to go to you as well. I know you were saying something before we were going to break, but you know what these other players are doing to step up around Cade, even in light of different injuries. It's not just Jaden Ivey being out. It's like, wow, we got Dennis Schroeder. He's fitting in nice, and he doesn't play last night. But you don't even You don't even recognize that he didn't play based on how well this team was moving offensively.
And that has been the difference. We all knew Cade could be what he is today, and of course he had to go out there and prove it. But the fact that he actually has teammates he can rely on night in and night out, this is why we praise the Malik Beasley move. This is why Tim Hardaway Jr. coming to this team and being able to hold down a starting role is absolutely crucial. Tobias Harris, like I said, this month he's been absolutely balling, man. You got to give him his credit where it's due. And on top of that, they love him in the locker room. He's a leader, and he's brought a level of professionalism to that locker room and leadership. And you love to see that. But what I was alluding to is when you was talking about Ron Holland and Asar Thompson, because you remember all preseason, man. What was I telling you? Like, defensively, I know what the hell it is. We know what it is, but one of them got to know how to shoot. One of them got to know how to shoot. One of them got to know how to shoot. But I think it was because I was so preconditioned from the last regime and some of the stuff that they were doing and that you so eloquently pointed out, putting them in the corner, not really playing to their strengths, making them shoot jumpers when they didn't really have to. JB Bickerstaff has come in and he has made this offense to where he's playing into what these guys do best, and that is why you can see Asar Thompson holding down a starting role and not really negatively affecting the offense, even though he can't shoot, is because he's doing everything else. And the same thing with Ron Holland. You're seeing his growth, and his jumper is getting better, but it's the other things that he does that makes him so great. So, you were absolutely spot on that. Got to repent for that, but just these young stars, like you said, they have to be acknowledged.
No, and I understand it because we see the effect of a Malik Beasley around Cade Cunningham, and that's where a lot of us wanted shooting. We went to the draft. I was like, yo, get a Dalton Connect. If he's not there, obviously, Ron Holland was ninth on the board. I had Dalton Connect fifth on my big board. And so it's like this team, this organization, they had a plan for these guys. And that, to me, is what matters most. And when you bring in a coach like a JB Bickerstaff, rather than them having 2 or 3 coaches, some of them, over the previous 3 years, I think it's just allowed them to settle in and focus. Because JB Bickerstaff said this last night. It was one of his most, I think, underrated quotes of the night. He said, yes, Cade is a star, but we have many stars. And we tell our guys, you can be a star if you play your role and play within your lane.
Be a star in your role.
And they've simplified things. They've been able to, like they said at day one of media day, he's made it, we understand now what we're supposed to do. When I heard that from guys who've been in the league, Stu been in the league for a long time, bro. He's the longest tenured Piston. When I heard he's on his second contract already. When I heard that, was just like, then other players stepped to the podium and said the same thing. Like, yo, he makes the information easy to understand. We believe we know where to be. So all of the hope that we had in the Restore era for these young players, now that you're putting them on the right path, it's almost like giving them a better driving teacher, and now they know how to go out there, and it's MIS out there on the lodge. And that's what we see out of these players. You get to be more confident when you know where to be on the court, and when you're playing your lane. Why? Because you're good at that. I like hockey. I've even played hockey. I don't follow it like that. When it's time, that's his lane.
Exactly.
We got people that run those lanes.
And
that's what we see with the Pistons right now. People are just filling in their roles in proverbially lanes. Like, obviously, fast break lanes too. Because we see them and what they're doing. But as it relates to their own individual roles, it's like Ron Holland said it. Defense, defense, defense. Hustle, energy. Malik Beasley. Nobody's going to out-hustle me. Like, nobody should have more energy than us. These are things that are underpinning why some of these role players, even in young players, are having the type of success we're having. And I thought that could be why players like Ron Holland and Asar Thompson could have early success underneath the JB Bickerstaff, man. It's still crazy to see because it's still exceeding the expectation that I thought was possible.
And you were right, Kool-Aid. They're having early success. And I think when it's all said and done, which is obviously a long time from now, when Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, no matter what happens in their career, no matter how long this man ends up coaching them, which I hope is for a long time, they're going to look back and be very grateful for JB Bickerstaff. Because when we talk about players who were mismanaged last year, you got to look to Isaiah Stewart. Even though I like the fact that he developed a 3, we can see that I was wrong and that he's better off where he is this year, just being that maybe the best defensive backup center. I would say without really looking at everybody else, even if I'm a little bit of a homer. Looking at Isaiah Stewart's numbers, that's a pretty safe bet. You look at Asar Thompson.
You say it as the best backup center, like he's literally trending and coming up in certain stats as the best center in the league.
Yeah.
Bench or not.
Hey,
I get it. You're trying to be
for sure,
fair and balanced, but just that context.
But that's
too.
also implied that he's better than a lot of starting centers.
Damn right.
And defensively, he's better than almost every starting center. The only thing you can knock him for is that he does it in a smaller sample size than some. But still, Isaiah Stewart plays his role. Asar Thompson, we talked about him. His three-point shot last year, or lack thereof, it was more glaring because Monty Williams misused him. We've talked about so many times throughout this month of February how impactful Asar Thompson has been, both defensively and offensively, when it comes to transition, when it comes to just cutting to the basket and having Cade Cunningham find him. Asar Thompson can finish over damn near anybody, and he can guard pretty much everybody on the court, and Ron Holland as well. Ron Holland, to me, is somebody who... And this isn't a diss to him. It's more pro JB Bickerstaff. I think if he went to a different head coach, he would have had a struggle session of a rookie year. I think
might have been mismanaged.
And that's what I'm saying. JB Bickerstaff is somebody who sees a Ron Holland and is like, I love defense. I know how important defense is. Ron Holland is a guy that, even though he's got some flaws in his offensive game, will at least give you defense and hustle and transition. And that's what Ron Holland has brought. And Ron Holland, you also see, though, improvements in his three-point shot. I have more hope for his three-point shot than Asar Thompson's, for example. But still, all three of those guys are incredibly impactful on a team that went from 14 wins last year and is now 33-26, and nobody in the league wants to play the Pistons. And the way that they're trending right now, I almost expect them to get a 4 seed. Not only that, I'm going to go one step further. The Knicks will be sweating for that 3rd seed.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be sweating.
Because you know what's the nuclear option? We keep talking about, well, you know, you want to play the Knicks because they're going to be in Madison Square Garden. If they somehow wind up, this is the best option. Pistons hosting
I know
against
going with
the
this,
Madison
man.
Square
Stop
against
it.
the New York Knicks. That right there is the option. National TV, all eyes, and Detroit turning up for playoffs, for playoffs with hope. I'm telling you, I don't know how other people felt, but with just my perspective, when I watched the Blake Griffin-led Pistons, it was like, okay, cool, we got this. I didn't have any hope for anything on the other end of that.
Yeah, we knew what that was.
But this one, it's like it's being started by the young guys. That's what JB Bickerstaff commended last night. He was like, yeah, this is the young guys. And it was interesting because you saw Ron Holland be able to go in there at the end of in the second half, and it was no drop-off. It didn't look like, oh, there's a rookie out there. There weren't like rookie mistakes. These guys are just playing different. I think people looking for the drop-off or the fall-off, it's not there because they're just playing at a different pace. What did Cade say at All-Star Weekend? And we played it right here on this show for y'all. We try to bring you guys as much exclusive and first to it content as possible. We try to ask the questions that come up in our chat. Cade said it. We want to hit the ground running. We know that the other teams in the league, they like to come out and ramp up. It's crazy how they talk about this type of stuff. And it's like you see this team out there doing what they're doing. And just shout out to those vets, man. Shout out to the vets. Shout out to Beef Stew, Cade Cunningham as well, man. Just absolute star. There's just a certain aura that's going around this team, not just Cade, but around this team, and they're special right now.
They have an identity, finally.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that we have been wanting for this team for almost 2 decades now. They finally have an identity.
Yep, and you can't win big without an identity. And when it comes to the Detroit Pistons, their identity when they're great is always something similar to this. Defense first and being the more physical team, being the team that, guys like Jason Tatum, for example, in the second half last night, they are thrown completely off their game by the defense and the physicality and Asar Thompson, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to shout out Cade Cunningham as well, because there's a lot of people that we've gotten to, and they deserve it. This team is proving to be a lot better around Cade than I think people like myself and even others in this room and others in this chat gave them credit for at the beginning of the season. But Cade Cunningham last night, even though he didn't shoot the ball well, even though you can look at the box score, which I hope none of you did, by the way. I hope you all watched. You can look at the box score and say, man, Jason Tatum maybe put up better numbers. But I still think last night was an MVP statement game. Not most improved player, MVP. And I'm not saying he's going to win it because my caveat is always Shea and Nikola Jokic are on a different level and they're further along in their careers, and those teams are like 1-2 seed in the West. However, Cade Cunningham last night, whether it was transition, whether it was the half court, whether it was scoring himself, whether it was distributing, he was there for everything. He had an insanely impactful game. And one thing I want to shout out about Cade as well, we talk about transition. We talk about Asar Thompson, the steals, the blocks, the rebounds, leading defense to offense. But when it was time for the half court, it was Cade Cunningham that often made the plays. It was Cade Cunningham who found Asar Thompson for open looks, Jalen Duren for open looks, Ron Holland, Beef Stew. And oh, by the way, and this is what I love too, Cade Cunningham, I looked it up this morning because I'm a sicko. Each and every single one of his assists, 3 of them were for threes. 1 to Tobias, 1 to Tim Hardaway Jr., 1 to Malik Beasley. This is what I'm talking about when I say you can give the supporting cast credit for, guys like Asar Thompson, Malik Beasley, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland, et cetera, Tobias Harris for playing well. But Cade Cunningham being that facilitator, being that point guard, being that force multiplier makes all of them just a little bit better than they would otherwise be.
Look, remember what I said just the other day? And I'm going to say a bold statement. I don't know if it goes over people's heads or not, but I told people, Cade Cunningham, and you talked about it. There was a stretch in that second half where it was a Cade Cunningham show. It didn't matter who else was out there. Other stars, other Olympians, Derek White over Cade. Get that out of here.
Man,
that nonsense.
come on, dog.
But I digress. I get it. The Boston Celtics won the championship. It's a nice run for you guys. I love where the Pistons are headed.
Got to give them credit. They did win. They won the title, but last night they were the inferior team. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I hate the Celtics, though. I'm always going to hate the Celtics. And I just like with LeBron, hey, tip the cap and respect. But when you look at this squad right now, man, when you look at Cade Cunningham and the aspect of his ability to control the game, he dictates how that game goes, his pace. How many times have we heard people say, oh, he's too slow, or he needs to speed up, or he needs to this, or he needs to that? I kept telling people, like, no, this guy plays at his own pace and makes everybody else, his own team and the other team, have to play to his pace, no matter what that is. No matter what that is.
To be honest, those are the most dangerous players. The players that do play at their own pace, you can't speed them up, and they still are effective on the court.
Do you know the way he dictates the game with his own pace? Do you know what it reminds me of? Like I said, we know Ben Wallace did this from the defensive side, but it reminds me of Tracy McGrady almost on offense.
I like
Tracy
that.
McGrady was never sped up. And I'm not saying that their offensive games are the same. I'm saying the way that they play within their own pace, and everybody else was going to have to settle into that. And what you see with Cade Cunningham is there was a stretch in that second half, whether the shot is falling or not, where he literally was dictating the game. The flow of the game was in Cade Cunningham's hands. And then when they go back on defense and are able to strap up the way that they did, holding the Celtics to sub 35% shooting from three-point and from behind the arc in that second half, that's where it's just like, you know what? Then you give the ball back to a Cade. He's so efficient at distributing the ball and at scoring. That's what I'm talking about. So when you compare the number one defense up with what they're doing in transition, but then if you have to go into the half court, you're putting the ball in Cade's hands, that's why they're having such great success. They're hitting on all of those marks because Cade Cunningham, are you speeding him up?
No.
You're not.
And he's learned how to get to his spots with ease now. That's what you're starting to see, the growth of his game. He's getting whatever he wants out there. Go ahead, Sam.
It's incredible. And one of the reasons why I also look at last night as an MVP statement game for Cade Cunningham, at least in terms of him getting more votes than Jason Tatum, was it all goes back to that second half. It was a tie game at halftime.
Yeah.
The Pistons outscored the...
It shouldn't have been, but...
It shouldn't have been, but it was. The Pistons outscored the Celtics by 20 in the second half.
Celtics were hitting crazy threes.
They were. But Jason Tatum in the second half, and I get it, if you're the Boston Celtics, a game at Detroit, they probably won't lose any sleep over it, but I still gotta point this out. In the second half, Jason Tatum was on clamps. He didn't do anything. he was very inefficient after having an efficient first half, albeit with some turnovers. In the second half, he was relatively ineffective. And in the second half, Cade Cunningham, 5 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 1 from 3, after having not his best game shooting in the first half. So that's another thing. Cade Cunningham was excellent in the second half, helped lead the Pistons to a big win. And oh, by the way, another thing about Cade too, you mentioned Tobias Harris guarding Kristaps Porzingis. Cade Cunningham took his turn at Porzingis as well. And I think that's actually smart because you look at Kristaps Porzingis, you look at the fact that he's 7'3", you look at the fact that in his prime he was nicknamed the Unicorn, and you think that might be somebody more suited for a Jalen Duren or a Beef Stew. But Kristaps Porzingis, especially at this stage in his career, he's a 7'3" guard. He almost half of his field goal attempts this year are from 3. Putting a Cade Cunningham or putting perimeter defenders on him, that's actually what the Pistons should have done, and they did do. And I got to give credit to JB Bickerstaff on that one, because games like this and situations like this, they make me fear those stretch bigs a lot less because JB Bickerstaff is making those adjustments.
Smart.
Yeah,
he's so smart. His staff is so smart. The Pistons, this is one where they caught lightning in a bottle, man. They did. Like all the moves from the front office, what Trajan Langdon did to get the right minds in, including, remember, Michael Blackstone, who they brought back. Yeah. And he's a cap specialist. And you look at how they effectively maneuvered their cap in every single loophole to get Dennis Schroeder and 2 second-round draft picks for free.
And I'm telling you, the offseason, everything is in front of them. They are going to make a really good move in the offseason. I can feel it.
And you know why? Because the foundation, it is star Cade Cunningham, young player.
Yeah.
Who was your longest tenured drafted player and your longest tenured Piston? Isaiah Stewart.
Yep.
And you got a bunch of young players like Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren who could realistically take the next step into where you hear people say, yeah, dog, I can see them being an all-star. Yeah. They're going to take that next leap. You're already seeing the flashes and seeing it on display right now. Andre Drummond made all-star games. We're seeing Duren right now go out there and putting up 16 and 13 over the last however many games of the season. So it's just like these guys have the ability. It's going to be on them to continue to execute, but the types of players and workers they are, Jalen Duren said it best. Like this is – It was interesting to hear this because it changed my whole philosophy about this team even before they went on this run too. You know what? Keep the chemistry together. Keep the chemistry. Even me who was like, get a star. When you saw how this team could be underneath the JB Bickerstaff, it was like, yo, sometimes you just let something grow. Kind of like WUW Crew.
They've built
sometimes you just, and we know they gave us opportunity and time to get through it. And from that perspective, Jalen Duren was like, look, we hang out together in season. We hang out off season. We hang out off court. We're literally friends and brothers who support each other, and we're here for each other's success. And when you hear them in interviews, even Cade, it's always about what they can do to talk about their teammate or their brother.
They've built a culture. They've built a culture, and that's that word again that we love here in Detroit. But it seems to be the right way in regards to building our teams. You look at what the Lions have done. They started with the culture first and then brought the talent along. And now you're seeing this with the Pistons as well. Culture first, we'll get the talent, and now they are moving towards being one of the best chemistry-led teams in the NBA, man. You love to see it.
Doctor! Shout out Dr. Darius, Dr. Detroit Radio. Bro, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Shout out,
tapped
man.
in, said we're killing it. You know what?
No,
the Pistons
thank you.
are killing it. Thank you. That's a legend. Detroit, still Detroit's voice, man. Shout out to Dr. Darius, man, and holding it down. Doing the podcast, official podcast with the Detroit Pistons. He sat down with a lot of different players and Lions players like Curbs, man. So shout out to him. He's the one that made the connection. Oh, you guys saw the picture of me with Super Bowl Curbs. But that was Dr. Darius who helped set that up and let him know like what we do here at Woodward Sports for socials and all that. So, yo, Dr. Darius, man, you're killing it, brother. Continue to be that light for people out there in this industry. And continue to be, that light for Detroit Pistons.
Hey, shout out to Dr. Darius. Shout out to you guys in the chat as well, because it just feels this was one of those days where it just felt right to give the Pistons all of their flowers because they're top news in Detroit right now. They're on an 8-game winning streak. They're 33-26. They just defeat the defending champions by 20. And one thing I want to point out as well too, and you guys were mentioning it, is I think sometimes And sometimes it takes time when you have a new coach, when you've got certain players coming off of injury like Asar Thompson. I think sometimes in-season improvement is overlooked. And that's really what you can point at when it comes to these Detroit Pistons. We even talk about a guy like Cade Cunningham, who's having a phenomenal season, who's probably going to be first or second team All-NBA. But even that being said, right now in the month of February, he's playing the best basketball of his career. So is Jalen Duren. So is Asar Thompson. Tobias Harris is playing the best ball, at least in multiple years. I will say that. He's a veteran, so I can't definitively say it's the best ball of his career, but when it comes to offense and defense, it's just everybody is taking that leap. And you see, since in the calendar year of 2025, the Detroit Pistons are one of the best teams in the NBA. They are the second best team in the East after Cleveland in the calendar year 2025. It's incredible. It's the LeBron. I can't believe this is my life meme.
Right? Oh man, JB Smooth. Do we have any super chats to clean up? And do we have a Cade Cunningham shirt to give away?
We do. Where'd it go? Shout out to the real K77.
Big shout out.
199 said, "Bring on the Nuggets 9 straight, baby." I mean, hey, it could happen.
I'm curious to see who guards Jokic, because there's a lot of possibilities. I mean,
it's got to be Stu.
I think Stu versus Jokic is going to be get your popcorn ready.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that, because when you look at, and I know people are going to roll their eyes when I bring this up, when the Nuggets play the Lakers, who's the guy that usually guards Jokic most effectively? It's actually LeBron. It's just with LeBron, he is 40 years old. He can't exert so much energy on offense and defense all game. But the point is that you've got all possibilities at your feet. It could be Stu. Hell, do you send Asar at Jokic?
He can guard
at
1
times?
through 5. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Maybe not in the paint, but on the perimeter, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Asar, with Asar, you got to worry about the fouls that Jokic could put on him.
That's
the one thing from I just
that man's crafty. He is.
Jokic is different, and I know. In a series, in a game against him, Stu got 6 fouls to give.
Oh, absolutely. and you got to give him all, because you know he's only going to play 19, 20 minutes anyway. And I think that this Nuggets game, not to preview it too much, but I think you're going to see, because I think the Pistons have a very good chance to win. But even when you talk about superstars in the NBA, you're going to look at Jokic and be like, that dude's even different than Tatum. Like Jokic is arguably the best player in basketball.
Amazing.
Right now.
And he averages what Cade averages.
Well, a little bit above, but in terms of benchmarks,
a little bit above.
No, I mean, but
no, he's the guy.
Yeah, Jokic is one that you're happy to tip your cap to. I mean, I'm honestly, and I know we've clowned on the Celtics a lot. I'm even happy to tip my cap to Tatum. That was a well played game. He's a great player. He answered a lot of questions with helping lead the Celtics to a championship last year. Shout out to you. But last night in the second half, you got clamped.
Got clamped.
Just is what it is.
People, Jalen Brown wasn't there. I'm like, what? Oh, you mean like the other All-Star on their team?
About to say,
what are you talking about? Cade is
and
the
thank
only
you,
All-Star.
everybody in the chat. Nobody's even mentioned Jalen Brown not playing, because who cares? Who cares?
Yeah,
the Celtics are arguably the best roster in the league.
This is what I love. Randall Smalls. You guys are so funny being so old and seeing all of his teams good at the same time. I'm afraid it's a dream. I'm so excited. And that's amazing. Have we ever seen this?
No.
And that's the thing. We're not the only person in here that's like a super young buck is Chase. We've been through a lot as a Detroit.
I've seen some things.
I've seen some things.
What up, though, Chase? What up,
Hey,
though,
what's
brother?
up? Hey,
Your perspective on all of this, man. All
I can't help
teams,
when my
right?
parents decided to have sex and make me
shout out.
That's what happens. That's how babies are made. I understand how that works. I'm not in control of any of that. I just pop out when I pop out.
They made sure you were ready for this era.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to pop out and show them, Chase.
Yo, we have an opportunity to be a part of the best era in Detroit sports history, man. And it's because these teams are, y'all know the word, percolating right now. Red Wings, Pistons,
we
get it
have
done.
hit our like goal,
Hey!
or our donation goal as well. Too. Shout out to Justin for
the
sending
likes
this
and
in.
the donations?
We're almost 139 right now, so we're almost there as well too. But we hit our goal donation for the day. Shout out to Justin, $4.99. After last night, I had to go back and watch the clip of KD talking up Cade and Pistons a few years back. How times have changed. April and the D, here we come.
Man, you know what? We're gonna have to get those shirts. I know JB has been cooking up a lot of different things We're gonna have to get those shirts as well as the 42 wins.
Hey, I'm with that.
Hey, I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's say what up though to some friends, and we'll get back for everybody's favorite segment. God. Hey, you might be challenged today, JB Smooth, because them Pistons have been hot.
Don't touch me. I'm sizzling. Mellow Yellow sizzling. You better stop playing with Mellow Yellow.
God. Hey, you know what? For the nickname debate, it was something I pondered. Someone else was like, no, I forget who said it, but they hit me up and were like, you know what? I think he's like Kobe and Shaq. I think he's just a one-name star. You know what Kay said last night?
They said that on Heavyweights like 2 days ago.
I posted this. I think all of us have kind of been percolating about it as well. It's like, you know what? Kay, that debate is settled.
He said it too. Yeah, he said he just wanted. If everybody that don't know what I'm talking about, the post game interview with Cade last night, Tim Hardaway Jr. walked up to him and was like, "Yeah, boy, good game, Mellow Yellow." And then he told the reporter he didn't want to be called Mellow Yellow. Is literally he just wants his name to be Cade. But I mean, Mellow Yellow, it's got a nice little ring to it.
I prefer just Cade.
Well, we know that. You the fun police.
Dude, Mellow Yellow is 4 syllables. That's way too much.
He's Cade. I mean, even the All-Star logo with the 2 seeds, it's almost like, you know what? It's just Cade.
Yeah, no, you're right. I am the fun police, so it's on brand for me. But I think on this one, I got a leg to stand on. That Cade's better than Mellow
Yellow.
Just Cade. Mellow Yellow.
Just think about the endorsement deals. Like, come on now. I'm thinking ahead.
I mean, I suppose that's a good point.
You gotta just think logistically. Like, Cade, Mellow Yellow. It's so much easier to say Cade.
Cade. You know what, man? I can't wait. And I was telling people in media last night, as soon as those shoes drop, I am definitely making sure that my son has the experience that I have. And I'm going to also make sure I have the experience again, too. I'm going to buy myself the shoes and the jersey as well. Sorry, Kid Cooler. You're going to have to wait. Man. You'll get yours for Christmas. But no, like, I can't wait. But Cade, I think that's the name.
Cade is the name. And, man, has this been the most – God, what a fun show.
This has been one.
What a fun show. Just felt like I was hanging with the boys. I mean,
Pistons carried a whole show, though.
It's always like that, but today was even. There was so much kumbaya in the chat. Everybody, whether you've been bought in this whole time, whether you're back in, I don't care. It's just we're all in on the Pistons right now.
Smash that like button.
It's wonderful to see. I love it so much, but shoot, we're so behind on reads. What do we got, JB? I can't even keep up.
Did we do Les Stanford?
We did not do Les Stanford.
Les Stanford.
Let me take one big breath before that one.
Yeah.
It's the Les Stanford sign and drive sale.
A lot of words.
Get 2024 Vision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. $0 security deposit, $0 direct signing, $0 first payment, $0 acquisition fee. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the sign and drive sale. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
That's Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. They're still
Sounded like
continuing
lunch.
on. I know it does sound like lunch. They're still continuing on their signature wings that they got going on right now, even past football season. You see them up there on screen. 7 different flavors for you. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and order some wings onto that order as well too. And remember, if you don't have time to go in store to check them out, you can always order online at Sorokis.com.
Hey, you know what? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward and Chat family. It's been a show. I guess people like winning Pistons. They said it.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons win. The fans will show up. And this is something that Cade Cunningham has said is spurring them. He said this is for the city. This is for the fans. They won championships and they deserve it. You know, that's their goal. That's their mindset, man, as it relates to what this rebuild is. And he did invoke that word, the restore. He did. So, you know what? Those young players were brought in underneath that, and I do believe and I do know that they're going to be the foundation for a lot of winning Pistons basketball.
It's an actual restore now. Before it was some bullshit. Now it's an actual restore.
Coaches, dog.
Yeah.
Jeez, coaches matter. But you know what, man? JD Smooth.
What's up?
Let's spark up Word to Jars.
Word to Jars. Let's do it.
Now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Jay Bizzle, what up, though?
Let's rock.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? What's going on, chat family? Before I hop into what's trending, let me do some of these super chats that we got going on here. Cause shout out to all you guys for sending in stuff. Burn $5. Twitter is calling Cade the Paradox. Bro, who the heck calls Cade that in Detroit? I know I don't, but that's just a weird nickname. I don't know if I like that.
I don't think I'll be calling
shout out to Randall Smalls again, too. Another $5. He said, at KG, I got Cade as made in Michigan. KG, what you think about that?
I mean, it's not bad, but I think we can do a little better. It's too broad. Made in Michigan, it's a little too broad.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah. We got some work to do on that, on the nickname, though. We definitely do. But I got some videos for you guys. Once again, where is that? Another gym fail here. I don't know who did it better.
You're on a roll, dude.
Right.
Hey, look, what is it? Tough guys in training, tough guys and girls in training.
TGTs, man. Watch out, JB on the prowl. He'll expose you.
Tough guys in training. I don't know who did it better, who fell better. Was it Jason Tatum last night or the ref on this play?
It's Tatum. You gotta see it.
Oh!
Damn, man.
Is he all right?
No, he old, man.
Oh, he's done.
Old people can't take falls
Bring
like
out the
that.
stretcher. Oh!
God.
Bro, I don't know. They might have to bring out the little cart for him.
You know he got arthritis in his knees. That's the last thing he needed was to fall like that. God damn. Look at his knee just gave out on him.
It looks like good free throw form. Like you go up with the same. Oh my god! Or not layup form. Sorry, not free throw.
People don't realize how taxing it is to be a basketball ref on any level.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that there's like a fitness test given to each of them, because if you're too tired to make the right call, you know the ramifications that could have. And he's on the ground. He touched earth, so you know he can't make a call there.
Have you ever heard Shane Gillis's joke about comparing like the attire that volleyball players wear to an NBA ref? They're like, we need to wear those spandex for speed. It's like, you're not running as fast as a ref. It's like, they're wearing slacks.
The NBA needs Cade as a superstar.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. That is a fact there. And once again, I don't know how many times I gotta say this. You are not Michael Jackson, so stop doing these moves when you're trying to clean your house. I know everybody has tried to do this, but please stop doing this.
Oh
shit! Yeah, you broke his broom.
Your mistake, bro. You tried to do that with the Dollar Tree broom, dog. You cannot do that. You got to get a sturdier broom if you're gonna be doing shit like that. Come on, man. Yeah. We all know that's the cheap ass $2 broom. Yeah, come on, man.
Dog.
The man doesn't even know how to broom. He's like pushing it. It's not a push broom.
Come on, dog. With your fucking starter broom.
Like, and you're recording this. Like you're recording this, my brother.
Yeah.
My man thought, I'm about to go viral, but he didn't know for all the wrong reasons.
In flip flops, you trying to do this shit too.
Oh, he's even got it in the background too. He's trying to like line it up with the video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He thought,
he thought this out.
Yeah.
It did not go well.
He almost knocked his fucking eye out. You can't do the Michael Jackson move in flip-flops, big dog, in the starter broom.
It did not go well. Question for you guys. Do you guys know how to make hot dogs by chance?
Is this a trick question?
No.
Hey, you don't boil them. I can't stand boiled hot dogs.
That's facts.
Don't boil them shits.
Don't boil them?
No,
you don't like boiled hot dog?
No, it's disgusting.
Air fryer,
It's the worst
grill,
shit ever.
Flat top. There's so many other ways. Flame grill.
You can blame my child. I had so much of it coming up. I can't stand it now. Like it sickens me almost.
No boiled chicken, no boiled hot dog.
Yeah, you see the little oil in the
boiled
water
chicken,
and shit.
gross.
No boiled chicken.
You guys brought up a bunch of good suggestions. What about putting them in the dryer?
What? Oh no!
No?
Come on.
Come on. Isn't that the air fryer?
No,
I mean, let's be real.
In the dryer?
The dryer.
Oh, hell no. My man clothes dirty as fuck. I'd never come over his house dirty ass, greasy ass clothes.
I'm just saying, give it a shot.
Boo,
Nah, G.
Oh my God.
No,
Wouldn't understand.
It's a white woman. Confirmed.
It's the air fryer.
Not hold your hand.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, not smart, right?
Whoa.
Just put them in the dryer.
Conceptually, it is the same as the air fryer.
She put it on heavy duty
I don't
too.
know about that.
It's the same exact concept. It's literally the concept of how the air fryer works. It is the same exact thing.
It's almost like
don't
these
know
hot
about
dogs come fully cooked to try and like foolproof us, and we still find a way to go outside of our way to make fools of ourselves.
It's ridiculous, bro. I hope she knows she got to clean that dryer out now. Don't just throw your fucking clean, washed clothes in that dryer, bro.
You want your clothes smell like hot dog water?
That's why you ain't got a man doing shit like this.
Dude,
Facts. When's somebody gonna come in and catch you saying that?
Oh, I love the inside jokes in this show. Flannel Sam, he got reprimanded.
We're good. But no, you're right. Man. You're right. Like I hope that she knows other ways to make a hot dog. Yeah. Please.
This screams I can't cook. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
Don't you hate it when like some modern women like use that as a badge of honor?
Yeah.
I burn toast. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, you can't be out here doing that, man.
Oh.
I shouldn't cook better than you, and I know how to cook. Like,
facts.
But yeah, like you shouldn't. Yeah, you can't do that.
Shout out my wife.
Right.
Fantastic.
My wife.
And
I can cook some things, but most of the time I just don't because she's better.
I know,
but
right?
I can.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's good having a crutch.
You're so right, bro. I used to cook for myself.
I did,
told my
yeah.
wife, like, no,
then my
you're
wife
way
came
better.
along.
Yeah.
She be telling me, no, sit down, I'll make it for you. Well, I bet. You are a crutch now, so that's fine.
Yeah.
A good woman wants to see her man's stomach full.
Yes.
I love that. Anywho.
Look at Sam.
I think we all just kind of started reminiscing, like,
right.
yeah.
The way she put that lettuce on that plate.
I'm just saying, look, I got curry stew sitting at home for me right now.
That was funny.
That was good.
That was good.
Oh, that was good. And finally, I was in what's trending with this because I don't know if you guys know. Apparently, there's like a huge egg shortage going on right now. So
the eggs is $18 from what I hear.
Eggs is ridiculous.
I
heard someone selling them for like $30 a pack out of Costco. But hey, just know that if you buy a house, you can get a whole set of eggs. Free eggs with every purchase.
Hey, it's a good deal, man.
It's a good deal. You buy a house,
deal.
you get a free pack of eggs.
Nah, for real. I heard in New York in the bodegas they selling Lucy eggs now because eggs are so expensive.
Lucy eggs.
Yes. So exactly what you think it is. They are selling singular eggs for like $2 a piece.
We gotta
in
do
New
better,
York, bro.
We gotta do better.
Yes, man. That's the world we're in right now.
Chickens are a really good investment.
Apparently,
like, you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot. They'll continuously produce eggs. They'll continuously produce meat. If you have a rooster, you can let some of those eggs harvest and literally just my aunt and uncle, my godparents. Shout out Theo George Theoslita.
We're already on it.
They raised all of like our turkeys for Thanksgiving and all that. Like very sustainable, very practical.
You preaching. That's stuff that me and my family we've been studying more and more. And you know what? We on the way. Got to get us some chickens, man.
Yeah.
Eggs, $18. Buy a chicken coop or
Shit
buy
crazy.
a house.
Yeah, right. Shit
Chicken at this
crazy
point,
out
man.
here, man.
Let's buy a chicken.
I'll never have an omelet again.
That's it for
At this
you guys.
rate.
Let's hop into some mailbag.
Coney Island breakfast special go from $3.99 to $13.99.
You're right.
Come on, bro. Sorry, man.
It's hard out here, man.
You got 2 eggs in there.
Yeah, it's hard out here for a pimp.
Get your mailbag questions in. First, I gotta tell you about Feldman. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, we're back. It's time for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive Group. And you know what? We'll do a giveaway first. And I know that we have a meeting over here. Look like some potential sponsors. So
hey,
we got to make sure that we keep everything metered, and that we actually wrap up.
Oh, we got ringside to record too. So
Let's do that giveaway then. Feldman giveaway for today for the light goal being reached. Did it get reached twice?
I think probably once.
Once?
Yeah,
okay.
I think just once.
Yeah, just once.
All right. Well, hey, let's get that giveaway. The people are going to get a, Kay Cunningham, the Detroit, Spirit of Detroit, the St. Cecilia themed t-shirt that we have based on the jerseys that the Detroit Pistons have that they brought, 2 years ago. And when St. Cecilia's, and shout out to, rest in peace, Earl Kurtz when he was alive, he was a part of the campaign to get it restored and a part of a lot of the ground roots love effort. And we do have a shirt that commemorates that, the number 2 with Cade on there as well. So somebody's gonna get that t-shirt today. Who's it gonna be? JB Smooth.
Oh, I get to pick. Oh, shoot. Let's see. I'm gonna go to Chase method on this one, and then just randomly.
Not a repeat.
Justin. I'm gonna mess this name up completely. This last name. Justin Sacco.
Justin who? Hold on.
Sochko.
Sachko.
Justin.
And if
Sachko.
we're saying that wrong, I apologize. But Justin,
Sacco?
you are the winner. Sacco.
It's just a guess.
Rocco Sacco
Listen,
Sacco.
email me Kool-Aid at
Sacco.
woodwardsports.com. Email me Kool-Aid at woodwardsports.com. You are the winner of the merch today for the light goal. And remember, guys, every $50 we do another giveaway. And soon we're gonna definitely have those Soroki's gift cards too. So it'll be lunch. Hey, it might be gas card, might be groceries, might be merch, might be tickets, might be a punishment. We'll see, man. But let's I guess we'll get to 1 or 2 of these questions in the chat. Is there any that you saw that caught your eye, Flannel? Let me see here. Because I see Jay Hard. He has one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kool-Aid for the playoffs. Bring the horn and Detroit basketball chant back after every May 3. We haven't heard it since the Palace. By the way, B snatched that 6th man of the year from Pritchard.
Yeah, no, that was very symbolic last night. Love to see it.
Am I wrong for thinking that this version of the Pistons need their own thing? And don't get me wrong, like that intro is like literally one of the best intros ever done, ever. Final Countdown, absolutely love it. But I think they need something different just to symbolize this is a new era in Pistons basketball.
They have their own identity. Obviously, it's always going to be built on the same foundation.
Of course.
Bad Boys and going to
You
work
got
eras.
Mason still. You can let him rock. I'm just saying as far as the song and the flames and the horn,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think we need to do something a little different.
I mean, obviously the Flames is only so much,
Well,
but
the
I think
Flames,
that video, the intros, even the music, and I do believe they're cooking up something. I believe when you talk about playoff basketball this year, K becoming an all-star, this team taking that step forward, them going to be mentioned in so many postseason conversations, I believe they're going to turn up, man, because they haven't let us down. When we saw it during the 04 era, it was even before they won a championship. When they knew they had a team, they turned up, man.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Big Con 51, though. We'll let this kind of be the end. It's kind of on this piggybacks. Feldman Mailbag. What's this era's Pistons nickname?
That's what we were trying to figure out.
we gotta
Or
figure that
maybe
out.
at least we can bridge that.
And AD
what
is,
characteristic traits do you think jive with the most?
well, AD has brought it up. Maybe we can do a contest for some merch or something, whoever comes up with the best nickname. But that is something, I've been struggling to think about because they not the Bad Boys. They not the going to work Pistons. They have traces of those teams. But I think there's something entirely different. So I don't know what to call them, to be
You got to
honest.
make sure it has that connection to Detroit, too, as its roots, because the going to work, that's about, Detroit, Southeast Michigan, and the whole state of pure great Michigan, man. So, yeah, that's going to be something. Chase GPT. You computating over there?
Yeah, come back to me later.
Yeah. No, that's definitely something that's going to be an interesting conversation because I know this. If fans are asking for it, it's because they're buying in. They bought in, man. And it was awesome to see at that arena last night. So this was a great show.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if we've had a show where we've been able to just literally go wall to wall Detroit Pistons.
That's what the people want.
That's right.
Love
man.
it.
Is that a show?
Yep.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder, that dude Justin, man. Continue to crush it for us. Cavassier Chase working hard. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you guys have a good rest of your Thursday. Stay tapped in. Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards, heavyweights, Stick and D-Mac today. And then should be the normal cast of characters for the rest of the shows. But hope you guys have a good one. Stay tapped in. Woodward Sports, best place to stay locked in for all your Detroit sports coverage. So hope you guys have a good one. Shout out my dad. Shout out the guys at Seymour Ford. We'll see you on Friday.
Hey, let's rock. This elite booth. What up, though, KG? That's Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth, a.k.a. Black Hollywood, Rookie of the Year, MVP. You about to sweep the award.
You already know. A legend in the making, man. Put the respect on it. But
Let's rock.
Yeah, no, shout out to my team, man. It's been a great week of just celebrating the Pistons, man. I'm glad they are finally getting their own love, their own recognition. And shout out to, my team for making this happen. Shout out to the chat. Absolutely love y'all. Appreciate the support. Let's keep this rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling over here to the TD booth. He's actually celebrating 2 victories. Some Spartans got one as well as the Pistons. You know what? As they're all in some pretty big postseason chases right now for this race. But JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. What up, though, brother?
Yo, what's going on? Shout out to the Pistons. Shout out to my Spartans as well, too. Shout out to you guys in the chat as well, and also for donating. And I got to throw this one up there before we get out of here. Blue coming through. He says, I'm going to New York this weekend, KG. I'm going to get you a Lucy Egg souvenir from the bodega.
Yeah. Send them over, man. Eggs expensive out here. I might need that bitch.
Oh, man.
Dog, that is hilarious. And you know what? Once again, thank you, chat family. Smashing that like button for us. Sending in those super chats. 3 days of the super chat goal, and you guys have helped us reach and surpass it every single day. And it means the world because it does. It goes to support us, the content we're able to bring and provide to you, and how we're able to expand and try to bring more to Woodward Sports for you. And you know what? Flannel Sam, vet of the squad, vet of the network. He took the show sheet today and was like, shh, Cade.
That is exactly what I wanted to do,
Yellow.
by the way. Like last night I was thinking it. Obviously the guys obliged and you guys in the chat as well. No, nothing
I'm
but
obliged.
Yeah, nothing but the Pistons today except for a little bit of MSU at the beginning. But hopefully tonight some of our teams can get wins as well. Maybe the Red Wings can get a win so we can do a Red Wings heavy show tomorrow. Michigan plays Rutgers, which must win, and it should be an exciting game because Rutgers, even though they're bad, they got some exciting young players in Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. So go Blue, go Red Wings. Let's keep up the victory shows.
Let's keep up the victory shows. And it's your boy Brandon Day, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Hey, you guys, I did post that article on the Pistons. There's a couple of them up there. You can definitely, at WoodwardSports.com or Woodward Socials, at Woodward Sports, find that latest article on the hottest team in the NBA right now. Your #1 defense over the last 8 games. That's those Detroit Pistons. And like Flannel told you, tap in with those Red Wings, man. We got playoff chases all around us right now, man. It's just been a day. And Trap Family, thank you again for your support. Smash that like button on the way out if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. Have a day. It's been Wake Up Woodward.